Hey everybody, it's Barry with Never Get Busted and Trip to Wellness. Probably the hippiest and trippiest channel that you'll turn to. And there's some good channels out there, but I'd like to think I bring more to the table than some of the others. I've been teaching how to pass a drug test now for 11 years, and that's what I want to teach you today, is how to pass a drug test. And it's not hard, and it works, what I'm about to tell you. It works so well, an article that I wrote years ago is actually on the first page of Google. If you search how to pass a drug test, I'll pop up. And so speaking from that article and a little bit more, let's learn how. The best way, by the way, I got Glad in the background, checking things out. Y'all met Glad, I'm sure. Powdered urine. If it's not court appointed, but if it's for employment or other purposes, you may have an accident on the job and they want to test your urine. Keep a package of powdered urine that you order from any source, good online source. It works. That's the very best way. You're guaranteed to pass that way. They even come with a warmer that makes the urine the body temperature, your body temperature, because a lot of people test for that from the beginning. Powdered urine's the way to go. If they're not watching it, go in a cup. Now, if they're actually watching, and it's very demeaning to have to go through being watched to pee. I went through that over 20 times. And it's no fun. So I couldn't use powdered urine. They would see that. Do not use things like Whizzinator. They look like an adult toy. It's a fake man's part. Those don't work if they're watching you. They will cuff you and put you in jail immediately on a court-appointed drug test. So don't use those, but use the detoxifier drinks. And those work. They work. I smoked every single day. Up to the night I would test, and I used the detox drinks. They work. Be sure to go to your local head shop and ask for a detoxifier drink. Don't say you want a drink to pass a drug test. Or don't say anything about passing a drug test, or they'll kick you out of there. They're not allowed to sell drinks that do that. In a lot of places, it's a misdemeanor to sell drinks that help pass a drug test. So they use words like detoxifier, and go to your local store because that's what's working in that jurisdiction. Every lab tests a little different. If you're not sure and you don't have a local store, you can visit my website, go to my article. I have a place I recommend online. I do get a small percentage of whatever you order, but you don't have to buy from there. The point is, get a good detox drink and follow the directions perfectly exactly. Now, some of these detox drinks come with an 800 number that you can call. That's not a trap. They legitimately answer your call and help you detoxify. Again, don't use words like drug test or probation or judge or cop or court, anything like that, or they'll hang up on you. So those 800 numbers are not a trap. They work. And the detoxifier drinks gives you a window, a 4 to 6 hour window that you can pee clean. But I recommend buying 2 drinks. And if you're going to continue using, buy 2 drinks, drink one of the drinks and test yourself. They have test kits now that are real cheap. I think you can buy them at Walmart. Use those test kits and check to see if that detoxifier worked. It should. That way you have the confidence the next day when you go to take your drug test for the courts. You're going to pass. Because the courts use a system where they do a preliminary test. and they test your urine on the spot. If it passes, you go. If it's questionable and you don't pass, they send it to a lab to verify if you're clean or not. And most of these tests are designed to pass that preliminary test, howbeit a lot of them pass the lab. So there you go in way of urine test. Now, what if you get blood tested? Well, if you'll read my article that I'm talking about at nevergetbusted.com, it explains that, blood tests is pretty tough to pass. The best way is to abstain. I know you didn't want to hear that, but there's no better way to pass a test than to abstain. That means don't use the drugs. But let's say you're about to get popped with a blood test. Detoxifiers, again, work. There are detoxifying systems that, work 3 to 7 days. You take these concoctions. So if if you know a blood test is coming, spend a couple days and take care of it through a good detox program. Let's talk about saliva testing. Well, I'll just read from my article. And let's see, how to pass the saliva drug test. Testing saliva is less common than a urine or blood example. But if your employer wants one, you need to be prepared. Now, CPS is using this a lot to take your kids, which is absurd. They're showing that a child is 7 times more likely to be abused in a foster home or with CPS, a child protection service, than if they would have just left the child with the mother and father who are using the drugs. I know that's hard to understand, but it's true. We need to leave children with parents. Of course, if there's physical abuse going on, that needs to stop. But the point is, a lot of places are using these saliva tests. Well, there's a mouthwash that you can buy online or at your local store. And there's also a saliva test kit that you can buy online. Do the same thing with that I explained about the urine. Test yourself first, see if the mouthwash worked. Keep the mouthwash nearby. So if they do pop you with a saliva test, say, sure, I need to go use the bathroom first, and go and rinse. And take care of it that way. How to pass a hair follicle test. Huge, because family courts use this. Unfortunately, some more madness if you think the criminal justice system is nuts in the U.S. And it is. Wow, get into family court. Courts and governments do not belong in families. We realize that now because we see lawyers in family courts pit the mother against the father and father against the mother until you fight, until your money's gone, and you spend it all on them, and you both hate each other, and your kids don't know which side to choose. All that's crazy. And they're big on hair follicle. And hair, your hair grows. It can pick off 6 months, 9 months, a year and a half of drug use. So that one's scary, but it's real easy to pass. It's as easy as the urine test. First of all, I recommend bleaching your hair. Bleach it, bleach it, bleach it. You want to wash that hair. You want to clean it. And then use a detoxifier. Now, some people very close to me, including myself, have passed hair follicle 3 times using this method. We bleached our hair first. This was years ago for me, but it still works. All my kids are grown now, so there's not a fear of me losing my kids again. I lost a son for 1.5 years over my activism. I'm not complaining, just explaining. But it wasn't over getting busted with the drug test. They tried, but I bleached my hair, and that washed it clean. I was just smoking weed. Actually, the marijuana made me a better parent. But that's another episode. So bleach your hair, really bleach it good, and buy a wash. Again, you don't have to buy it from the store I recommend. Go to your local head shop, they call it, or pipe shop, and whatever they're selling to detox your hair, and say, look, I just need to detox my hair. Again, don't mention court. And you will pass that hair follicle. Again, if you have the money, bleach your hair, use the wash, go do a private test. They will let you pay for a private test where only you get the results. And pass. Make sure you pass. And once you pass, go for your court-appointed test after that, and you know you're good, and you don't have to sit there and stress and wait on the results. Now, wow, this one is how to pass a test using methamphetamine. And I'll catch a lot of flack for this because it's been rumored that methamphetamine makes you kill people. The truth is alcohol is the cause of more violent crimes than any other drug out there. Actually, methamphetamine is on the lowest level of number of violent crimes and deaths. Only 12,000 people a year die from methamphetamine use, where 50,000 people died 2 years ago in the U.S. for opiates. And that's just heroin and pills. 50,000. That and alcohol are really killing a lot of people. But meth is a big thing the government's going after right now. There's a lot of, home remedies and urban legends on how to pass meth tests, and they work. Study them close. Take a look. They actually work. But make sure you do your research and that you hear that urban legend enough to know it's true. And the washes work as well. All the things I just explained to you. So, peace, love, trip to wellness, pass your drug test, and never get busted. Adios, amigos.